When folks think about sabbaticals, they're thinking, I'm gonna take the best sabbatical ever.
I'm gonna binge
Right?
watch Succession.
Well, all of that, do all the things on my bucket list. That's how we start to think, and that's kind of setting yourself up for failure.
After more than 2 years of COVID, who doesn't need an extended break from work? In other words, a sabbatical. In September, the Conference Board found that more than 3/4 of US workers cited stress and burnout as big challenges. So, Caroline, you're an executive and leadership coach. We've seen how companies like Citigroup and Goldman Sachs are now starting to say they're offering sabbaticals as a way to retain talent and recruit talent. I'm curious what you're hearing and seeing from the clients that you work with.
Yeah, it's so interesting because up until now, I've really worked with clients to design their own self-sponsored sabbaticals. I am now seeing more and more that fairly senior people in big companies are even starting to take this benefit, and that feels new. Part of it is there's still like the fear of repercussion career-wise. Am I going to be thought of as weak? Am I going to be thought of as committed enough?
Yeah.
Just because it's so new, I think of it really like male executives taking paternity leave. Like that's always been there, but a lot of executives didn't do it.
How structured should a sabbatical really be then? Should you have something to show for it at the end of your leave? In journalism, for instance, reporters will take leave to write a book, but I don't see that as a sabbatical. You're basically
Right.
working on a really long project with a long deadline.
Right. When folks think about sabbaticals, they're thinking, I'm gonna take the best sabbatical ever.
I'm gonna binge
Right?
watch Succession.
Well, all of that, I'm gonna have fun, I'm gonna write a book, I'm going to get in the best shape of my life, like do all the things on my bucket list. That's how we start to think, and that's kind of setting yourself up for failure.
Why is that?
Sabbatical, I think the most important thing should be to rest your mind and body and reset. I think that's the most important thing. We're also wired to be busy all the time,
Yeah.
right? So it's like when you're on a roller coaster and you just get off and the ground is still, it feels really weird. Like people don't really know what to do with themselves when they take the time off. So making sure to have that time to be a little bit uncomfortable and a little bit still, I think that's really important. I would start off with like, how do I want to feel when I'm done with the sabbatical? You know, and make a quick list of like to feel list. And don't also feel like just because you're not working, you have to do it all by yourself. If you have a babysitter when you're working full time, maybe keep that babysitter. Right?
So another thing that I want to bring up here is that companies may be reluctant to offer sabbaticals, whether it's paid or unpaid,
Sure.
to employees, because a lot of the times, all that time to rest and recharge and reflect means that people will realize, you know what, this is not what I want to do. I think I need to change companies, or I think I need to change my career, and you lose a valuable employee. That's got to be a big part of the calculus and risk for a company to extend
Sure.
any kind of sabbatical, right?
Sure, there would be a risk, but it's, I mean, your employee could be doing that on a sick day, on a weekend. So it's really, if you are taking care of your people and if you really care about your bottom line long term, you're not getting that benefit on your second week on the job. These are people that you want to retain. These are people that are important to the company. I think that's a risk that companies should feel willing to take.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's no guarantee. Yeah, there's no guarantee ever. And even if your company doesn't offer sabbatical, I think we can do so much more with our weekends, boundary setting, evening hours, having more active relationship with your supervisor about what's okay and what's not okay, what's more depleting for you, what kind of activities you would like more of in your day-to-day work, and really starting to design and take charge of your own career could feel like a lot of the things that you're seeking from a sabbatical. So I think that's also important to think
You're
about.
getting the feeling that you want at the end of a sabbatical just by being more thoughtful about how you set your boundaries in your current work life.
Yes. And taking your vacations and sick days.
Yes, exactly. Don't leave money on the table.
Right.
All right, Caroline, thank you so much.
Thank you.